And he done told us again. What's happening, people, man. We are over here on the Mad Mike Sports channel, as well as the Mad Mike Sports X page. And this is the Originators. Like you said, man, 6 man, K Styles, aka Pie May, is in your city. And riding shotgun, and you already know, it is the man of the hour, Mad Mike Sports,
Yeah,
aka the Senator.
yes.
And as you already know, this is Originators Monday. So if you are tuning in here, make sure you go ahead and hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Let's get Mad Mike Sports to that 11K
What?
milestone.
I think we like in 29. Yeah, 29 somewhere now. 29 more. Somewhere now.
Okay. And like I said, man, we got some interesting conversation here this evening. If you hadn't if you hadn't caught up on Mr. Wide's network, Mr. Wide,
hmm
man might sent Sam up a range of hell. So if you want to go if you want to go ahead and catch that, go ahead and subscribe to Mr. Wide Network and check his live that he just did right before us.
Just a little bit.
Good job. And you know what's interesting, Mike? I know your favorite wrestler is The Undertaker.
Mm-hmm.
No, my favorite wrestler was Kane, right?
Oh wow. I think so. Oh,
Yeah, I think I told you that.
wow. Damn.
I think I told you that.
Oh, you bum bitch. Oh my god.
I
I
like
just
Goldust,
realized
but
that you said it.
I'm a bigger Kane fan than I was Goldust.
Oh man.
So basically, what you're seeing here is the Brothers of Destruction.
Yes, I know exactly what you was getting at.
Yeah, exactly. Hey man, we got a good show coming in for y'all this evening. We got a couple topics that we want to hit up on, but before we get that, I want to give a shout out to King Treyway. Got my girl Sonya in the building,
Oh
Georgia,
yeah.
Texas boy. Sonya, you know Sonya gonna be with us at the training camp too, so y'all gonna get to
Oh
meet
yeah. Oh
y'all.
yeah.
You gonna get to meet one of my favorite ladies. We got Keyshawn Vlad, we got Floyd Donnelly, we got King Richie, we got the Young Knight, we got Daniel Barry Sports Highlight, we got Smooth C78, and that concludes what, Mike?
It's the real rock.
Said Smooth C said he's giving what's up from that
It looks like it.
Barbados. Yes, sir. Shout out to the Caribbean islands. We got Cartier in here. Even though he a Buccaneer fan, he supports your ass like a motherfucker. He loyally
Yes, he
supports you.
does. Yes, he does.
So definitely shouts out. So hey man, Mike, how you feeling this? How you feeling?
Oh, I'm absolutely terrific. I cannot. Hey man, bliss man.
Mm, yeah, I mean it's very yeah. I mean we are fine. I'm doing a lot better. All I know is if the NBA free agency about to pop up, that means my birthday
Woo.
is right around the corner. So
Yeah.
that's like my biggest reminder of how old I'm getting is when NBA free agency hits. NBA free agency starts on July 1st. My birthday
Mm-hmm.
the next damn day. But we got a couple topics that we want to go ahead and get into here. We want to talk about the big trade that just happened today with the
Mm-hmm.
Pittsburgh Steelers and the Miami Dolphins. And does that put Mike Tomlin in the hot seat? Smoothie said he's down here for a funeral tomorrow. Like I said, prayers to the family, man. Prayers to the
Yes,
family.
indeed.
We're gonna talk about Raheem Morris again. So we go. So hold on. Let me say his name 3 times. So I see who gonna pop up. Raheem
Okay.
Morris. Raheem Morris. Raheem
Right.
Morris.
Good
Hot
guy.
seat. Let's see if we're gonna see some names pop in.
Mm-hmm.
And we're gonna also talk about LeBron James
LeBron
and
James.
and what does him accepting his player option mean for the Los Angeles Lakers?
LeBron James.
So before we go ahead and start the show, Mike, man, you got something you want to get off your chest? You got a sidebar you want to get off your chest off the rip?
A sidebar. I actually do. I want to talk about this real quick. It's really well. It's unorthodox, but I gotta talk about this because I made a video on it. Um, CM Punk is getting a lot of backlash for what he said about um, well, for apologize for what he said about the Saudi Arabian people, and I'm normally the person that be. I'm typically the person that's like, I don't necessarily. How can I say this? I don't. I'm typically the person that's like, hey man, you just got to know the person in order to know what their true feelings are. I mean, sometimes people say a lot of things that they mean, but like when it affects a lot of people, um, you know, you just got to do the right thing, the adult thing to do, and apologize. And I think CM Punk did the adult thing in this instance and to apologize. You got a lot of people, the Saudi Arabian people, that support not only him but the WWE. And when he went out and said, y'all can go over there and get that blood money, at the time I thought he meant it. I still believe that he meant it, but it takes a bigger man and a bigger person to apologize when you know kind of hurt people, because a lot of those fans over in Saudi Arabia, they still support you. They love you, man. Like a lot of people, a lot of Saudi Arabian people, they love everything that CM Punk, he does, and continue to support him. So I like when you got business like WWE, who is a global business. Sometimes they may not be able to get a deal because of a wrestler. And I think CM Punk did the right thing for the entire company in this instance. Um, I think he did the right thing in this instance to apologize to the Saudi Arabian people. Now he still got some of his hardcore fans are saying he's a hypocrite and all that type of stuff. Like I said, man, being a hypocrite is a part of life. Like it's certain situations you're gonna be hypocritical of. But I thought CM Punk did the right thing. He apologized to the Saudi Arabian people, and it was the right thing to do. So I loved it. I like the fact that he, did the adult thing. And shit, when you start getting closer to 40, man, a lot of things just don't seem worth it. You know what I'm saying? You can still have your own views on things, but CM Punk actually apologizing to those people, because, like I said before, those people support him and always have support him. So I thought he did the right thing.
And if you didn't see who just popped in the screen, we have Will
Hello,
the
hello.
Three. What up? AFL
How you doing,
International.
guys?
What's happening, man? What's happening?
All good this side, brother. All good this side. Just showing some love up on Twitter for the Falcons tonight because it's the 60th birthday. So just
Mm-hmm.
enjoying all the meme content that's got to offer. But no, just kind of trying to see some memories from especially the older fans on what they've experienced all the way back since '65, and it's been interesting reading some of the exchanges over on X. If you do get time down in the chat, pop on and have a little look at some of those. But yeah, just it's been a bit of a logistical ball ache this week. Pardon my French, but hanging in there. How y'all boys?
No,
Right,
we
we
good.
won.
We good over here. Man, so came in right at a good time, Will. So we're gonna go ahead, we're gonna kick this off. Um, as we've already seen, the first topic at hand really is what Mike want to talk about with Mike Tomlin kind of being on the hot seat because
Mm-hmm.
the Pittsburgh Steelers messed around and made a trade today,
Yes.
which is very interesting to me because it's like you literally got the same thing and more for the same thing. For those that may not know about it, it was the trade that Jalen Ramsey and John Smith trade to the Pittsburgh Steelers
Mm-hmm.
for Mika Fitzpatrick and a couple draft picks. Now remember, this is the same all season where you just recently signed Aaron Rodgers. Oh, like to eat mushrooms in a tree ass, and and you have your best defensive player T.J. Watt, who is unhappy in the organization because he ain't getting the money like he think he's gonna get, and he possibly may want out.
Mm-hmm.
So the question that I had to ask for y'all is how much do you think that trade benefits Pittsburgh, and do you think that with all these moves, are they signaling that Mike Tomlin is on the hot seat?
Well.
I think he's very much on the hot seat. I think the signing Aaron Rodgers has already got eyes firmly on Pittsburgh. I mean, I know he's got credentials. I know he's got proven. I mean, to my knowledge, he doesn't have any. If any, it's not many losing seasons. So his consistency rate is unquestionable. But in terms of this trade, I don't know. I'm not giving up on Minka Fitzpatrick because I think he brings that old style of safety play that's been absent in the league for a few years, in my opinion. To bring in Jalen Ramsey, yeah, I'm not keen on it. John Smith, he's a decent pass catching tight end. He's a weapon that Aaron Rodgers can use, but I'm not going to say they get fleeced, but I don't think it's the best trade. I wouldn't have done it if I was Pittsburgh. Put it that way.
Yeah. So do you think that is interesting that John Smith, for the third time in his career, is going to be playing under Arthur Smith? Do you think that's interesting?
I think it just shows that some guys have players that fit their culture. If they're a scheme fit for you and you feel like they've still got something that, I know this guy, I know what he does well, I know what he doesn't do well. I think there's something to that, but at the same time, I don't want to make too much of that because I feel like the real X's and O's of it is the Fitzpatrick and Ramsey swap. But he's I'm not going to lie and say he's not a nice weapon to have. I like John Smith. He's a hell of a tight end, but yeah, as you say, I think maybe he's just got that air about him where he has his guys and he goes, "No, you've done the business for me before. I know I can rely on you." I think it's more of that sort of basis, in my opinion.
Okay. So because Mike brought up an interesting point about this is it almost seems like the way that Pittsburgh is building their team, it almost seems like they're sneakily trying to turn this thing over to Arthur Smith.
I see what you're saying. And shout out to that comment as well because yeah, there's going to be some big egos in that locker room for sure.
Ooh, boy.
Boy, they got rid of George Pickens in the nick of time. I just tell you that much now.
Yes, yeah.
Hell yeah, they smelled that coming and wanted no part.
Oh boy.
That's what I'm saying, boy. They got rid of George Pickens at the nick of time, boy. Because boy, you
Hell
think
yeah, we're going to be a meme anyway, but we don't want those kind of memes, man.
Right. No.
That boy, that would have been the true William Wallace right there, boy. I'm
A
telling you,
revolt. A
Oh,
revolt. Oh yeah. Oh
exactly.
boy.
But but just to ask the question, like you said, do you feel like these moves right here is kind of like one of those things where they're looking at Mike Tomlin and saying, okay, we got to get further than what we've been, or your ass is grass.
hmm Yeah, I can see that too. I agree with that. Just kind of looking at it from a playoff perspective, Pittsburgh doesn't really have that much to talk about recently. But then again, they're in an uber competitive division. You've got that explosive offense in Cincinnati with $200 million receivers. Then you've got Baltimore, who are perennially right on the cusp as well. So I think the Steelers have got set in their ways because they've almost, in a way, similarly to Atlanta, they've almost gotten used to a level of mediocrity, and they go, "Oh, okay, we're a 10-6 team. 10-6 is better than most of the league." Well, yeah, but then you need to start asking questions about what you do at the playoffs should you get there. And I
Mm-hmm.
feel like for that reason alone, you need to start thinking, okay, maybe it's time to move on and change the culture here.
That damn Mike Will just literally just went right into
We just said everything I
it.
damn said.
Nope.
Everything I said, we said this leading up to the show.
Good.
Man. So
Go ahead, Mike. Go ahead, Mike. Tell that.
so basically, this is just how I feel, man. And like I said, this is something that I thought about. It's like when you had a guy, there's two things with the Steelers organization from me on the outside looking in, just looking at everything in its entirety. Is one the first thing is the fan base and the fan temperature. You can't disregard how fans. It's just even as an owner, you can't disregard, and this is what makes Arthur Blank and Jerry Jones a lot of times. Those guys, you can say what you want to say about Jerry, but he understands what the fans want. It's not always a good thing, but he understands what the fan. They listen to the fans, and right now, from a lot, because I got a few Steelers fans in my family. They want change. They're tired of going 8-8 and winning 10 games, 10-7, 10-6. Like they're tired of it. It's been the same thing for the most part for the past 15 years or so, 15 plus years or so. I don't know the exact number where Mike Tomlin has been, but they're tired of it. And like at some point in time, it's like, all right, how can you continue to sell your fans that 8-8 and 10-7 is good enough? I don't think you can, to be honest. So that's one thing. Then you look at the second, that's no future.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have a future. They have nothing, no one to build on. You can't say that you can build on with TJ Watt because he's been there for what 5-6 years already. It's not a guy that you want to build on. Like they don't have a future. So like for me on the outside looking in, man, and like I said, this is just from the outside looking in, how I see it and the moves that they're making. You brought in a cornerback in Jaden Ramsey. He's not a spring chicken, okay? He's on the other side of 20. He's on the lower side of 20. I think he's like 29, if not 30 already. And then
Yeah, I think
you
29
got
is the way to be there.
you got Watt that you have to really think twice about giving him that $30 million contract because you don't have a quarterback. Aaron Rodgers already hinted to the fact that he's going to retire at the end of this year. So do they really want to spend the money on TJ Watt, and that's the conversation that we having. And Kev, you kind of walked into the second part of the question that I have is, are they gonna say goodbye? Hey, goodbye to Mike Tomlin because for whatever reason they're giving Arthur Smith everything that he wants right on this team. So they have to have some infatuation with him to be giving him almost every. I've never seen them do this offensively, especially offensively for a coach or a player. And the last time they gave a coach and a player that much on offense was literally Ben Roethlisberger. So they have to have some sort of infatuation with Arthur Smith.
Yeah, I think they found their heir apparent. I don't think it's too bold to say. I think he's the guy to replace Tomlin should they ship him on. There's been some talk in the Discord, if you've been on this evening as well, saying, are they going to look at trading TJ Watt? Now, from a Falcons perspective, I don't see the use in bringing him in, given the young weapons that we have, of bringing in a player who A is 30 million, wanting potentially $25-30 million. It ain't going to happen, A, and B, he's hitting 30 this year. That's an interesting time for a linebacker, especially one who's been playing at as high a level as TJ has. So you need to also take into account the mileage on the tires, so to speak, before you even consider trading them. So it's an interesting one either way.
So the question that comes down to is let's just say if the Falcons are the top team for a potential trade with TJ Watt. What are the certain players that you see that would have to be involved in that trade to make that happen? Because it's a couple names that I see in there that is very intriguing to me.
Oh, y'all not gonna like it.
You know, I'm thinking Algier. Steelers build through the run, so if we are getting into that mix trade wise, then Tyler's got to be a piece. There's a lot of running back depth every year in the draft as well, so it's not like we can't replace him with someone of similar quality. Hopefully, not taking anything away from Tyler. I mean, he's a great piece to have. I think he's an extremely talented back. And as Mike Turner was saying, I feel like he doesn't get the touches that he maybe warrants for a player of that caliber. But if you're talking about big money deals and bringing in big players, then you're going to have to make some big time compensation.
Because it's three names that I see that if the Falcons went down that route would be included in this deal. And I'm not saying that they're all going to be in the deal at the same time, but it's three names to look at it. Let's just say the Falcons do want to go for a deal like that. The number one name that I got on there is Jesse Bates.
I got another one.
Okay.
The number two name that I have in there is Matthew Bergeron.
Yeah,
and the number three name that I see in there is Drake London.
Well, I'm gonna throw a fourth one in there because I think this guy's a Pittsburgh Steelers type player, and I think it's Jalen Walker.
Ooh,
they have their replacement because it's not like the Falcon can't give him up because they have a guy and James Pierce Jr. that you still have an edge there, and you don't know what Braylon Trash is gonna. If he's gonna finally get it, or you don't know if on every kid is gonna put it together. So, like, it's something to think about.
Yeah, for sure. And as John Boy says, yeah, we're going there already because we don't come on with kid gloves. We come in with boxing gloves. We would rather get it late on the table and go, no, if we're going to get into this, let's get into it.
What
we talked about it.
So John here said the last time the Steelers fired a head coach was in 1968.
I don't think they'll fire him. I just think they just agree to move on. I don't think they'll fire him.
That's just a nice way of saying get your ass up out of here.
Yes,
Yeah, but I don't
That's
think
just
it's
a
going to
nice
be
way to say
it sounds
unsanctimonious.
better. It sounds better.
He's solid Ring of Honor material. You know what I'm saying? So I don't think they're going to burn that bridge. It'll be a handshake and a gold watch, so to speak,
Yeah. Mhm. Yeah.
sort of deal in Pittsburgh. But it's an interesting one to see what's going to happen because, yeah, you can make the jokes you want about Aaron Rodgers coming in for a year and being Aaron Rodgers, but at the same time, you can't deny the influence and the impact that a quarterback who has been there and done it all and got the rings to prove it can
Mhm.
show to a young quarterback who's up and coming. So I like the situation for the kid backup, and his name escapes me. Who's back up in Pittsburgh right now?
Mhm.
Hmm.
Yeah, because you
I can't
said
remember
who
his name,
back
but
up?
yeah, yeah,
What is it? One
Mason Rudolph.
Rudolph.
that's it.
Hold on,
That's
hold on,
it.
hold on. I get it.
Rogers likes him. He says he's a good kid. So I don't know, man. He's not the best QB, but if you get someone like Aaron Rodgers mentoring you, man, you can't. That's never a bad thing. And that's what it says about the Ryan and Vic situation. When you get a QB who's played at that level, yeah, I don't have to maybe use it because maybe I've not got the athleticism or the skill set to do exactly what you do. But yeah, give it to me, give it to me. Let me take it in. Let me see how I can use that and how I can make myself excel through your advice and through the example that you're setting here. And I think that's a good situation for a player like Rudolph because he is good, but he's not great.
Mm. So, Mike, go ahead and talk about where does Raheem Morris fit into this conversation?
Well, I think when you look at Raheem Morris and why he fits in this particular conversation is you have to like I've said time and time again when you just look at Raheem, there's been a model of consistency in regards to him, and it's not a good thing. Is that he's been extremely mediocre, and I'm being very generous when I say that. Like he's done nothing. He's shown us the exact same thing week after week, year after year, ever since he was a head coach with Tampa Bay. He come here to be a assistant head coach, and then you look at his short tenure for the most part with the Atlanta Falcons, and then you go to the Rams. They had okay defenses, and then you come back to Atlanta and become the head coach. It's been consistent um, for the most part, and I think going back to the Pittsburgh Steelers and the organization and the fan base, how long can you continuously sell mediocrity to this Atlanta Falcons fan base? And that's the question I have for y'all. How long can you continue to sell mediocrity and patience to this Atlanta Falcons fan base before we say, all right, you're not winning? All right, we got to bring in somebody who knows what they're doing. And
Yeah,
that's the reason
and
why when you look at Raheem Morris, for me, I don't care about whether or not he's learning the game. I don't care nothing about that. As a fan, and we've all been fans close to 10 years plus, okay? I think we all can say that. These
mhm,
last 10 years or so as Falcons fans have been filled with a lot of ups and downs. A lot of good moments, a ton of bad moments, a lot of good moments, and the back to the bad. So
mhm.
we're tired of saying tomorrow, tomorrow, tomorrow. And you look at Raheem, how long are you guys are going to put up with another Atlanta Falcons defense that doesn't show up in the big moments? You need sacks. They can't get sacks. How long are you going to continue to put up with it? Because fan base, I think the Atlanta Falcons fan base and the Steelers fan base are pretty much in the same boat. We
Mhm.
see 8 wins every year. Every year, these teams can damn near guarantee we get close to that 8 win mark. I
Mhm.
think we're all tired of it. So how long are you guys are willing to wait?
Yeah, I'm with you, and that's what I was going to say before you choose to jump on us. We're not the squeaky clean alliance, we're the unholy alliance. So we will remind
Mhm.
you of that. But to take it in a more diplomatic route, we ain't going at Pittsburgh here because Atlanta's in the same boat and there are teams dotted all around the league. Look at both teams in LA. Look at Dallas. Look at Vegas. I could go on. Look at Minnesota. There are teams that are
Mhm.
right on the cusp, but they are good, but they need to take that next step. And how long can your team, can your fans be content with that level of mediocrity? That's 100%. There comes a time where you go, nah, I want to see more. Sorry.
Yeah.
So do you think that we have this same conversation if the Atlanta Falcons were not didn't have the expectations of winning the division and taking that next step last year? Do you think that we have this same conversation, or do you think this would be a more lenient conversation?
Hmm. I'm gonna let Mike speak on that first. That's an
Uh,
interesting one.
The only reason why I'm saying that too is you have to remember, even like you said, even with Raheem Morris being hired as the head coach last year, remember the expectation, not just from the Falcon faithful, but from a lot of the sports media was this was a playoff team.
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Because you have to remember at that aspect in time, we looked we looked at Kirk Cousins as being a major upgrade over Desmond Ritter
Mhm.
and Taylor
Mm-hmm.
Heineke, and thinking that okay, if you get about another 2 to 3 wins with Kirk Cousins, we are a playoff team waiting to happen.
Yep.
But like you said, what ended up happening was they fell below the expectation and they ended up missing the playoffs by winning one more game than they did the previous season.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think because we've lost two Super Bowls, I just don't think there's any room left for patience, to be honest. Um, and rightfully so. Because look, I made a video earlier today about Matt Ryan and Joe Burrow. Like those guys, if you just look at where they are as quarterbacks, like both of those guys put up an amazing amount of numbers. But you just look at the organization, like defensively, they just don't look like they're interested in anything defensively. They just look like they want to throw for 5,000 yards and hopefully outscore everybody. So they're on the same path. So I look at this team like I because we've been to a Super Bowl and we lost in dramatic fashion. I just don't see. I don't see how you can sell anything other than get it done now. Like I just any coach that's gonna become the new head coach for the Atlanta Falcons is going to be under that pressure.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm. And Keyshawn here said, I wanted Raheem Morris fired last year because we didn't make the playoffs. What I, along with most fans, expected them to. Same with Arthur Smith 2 years ago. And that's where Arthur Smith kind of got most of his flack
Hmm.
And if you ever needed
from a
more of
lot
a
of the fans in 2023 was because where Arthur Smith kind of got a little leeway from was the fact that the Falcons team was literally they literally went through so much cap hell and bad contracts that they literally had to play with a lot of guys off the street. But like you said, once they were able to obtain enough money to where they can get quality players in, that's where the expectation went up. And you kind of saw with Arthur Smith, the more the expectation went up, the more he started getting frustrated because the team wasn't winning.
Hmm.
Mhm. Yeah,
And
100%.
that's
This
what
is
and that's what we're saying, like you said, with the Raheem Morris situation here now is
And I was just going
It's
to say as
it.
well, if you ever needed more of a clue as to why, um, like in terms of the playoffs and expectations and things like that going into the season, if you ever needed more proof that the media don't listen to the fans, this is it. Because I'm seeing constant posts from Pro Football Focus and you know the usual candidates, the usual suspects for this kind of shit. And we are rated as a 6-win team. So what you need to do is you need to kind of take the media out of it to a certain extent because that's not look at that roster and tell me it's a 6-win team. Come
Right.
on.
You gotta think about it. You gotta think about it from this aspect. You literally were 4 turnovers away from. And this is the crazy thing, and this is the same thing we
Oh
say about
God.
where Arthur Smith and his time in Atlanta. We literally were like 4 or 5 plays away from being 11-6.
Mhm.
Hmm. He made the right decisions. That's the difference. And I'm gonna say something right now. I thought I don't think we would have had the same players had we kept him. But if he was our head coach, this team would be near the Super Bowl because he made those right decisions when we had a quarterback that was struggling. Arthur didn't hesitate.
Mhm.
Look. I mean,
Eh,
Marcus Mariota thought he was gonna be his lover for the rest of his life. Marcus Mariota thought he hit the lottery again until he started playing like shit, and Arthur said, "Nah, bro, that's not happening."
Mhm.
So
you do
Arthur
have a
Smith
you
made the
do
right
have a
decision.
point there. You do have a point there. That's the one credit that I do give Arthur Smith. When motherfuckers start struggling, he motherfucker pulled their asses out like, well, fuck
Mm-hmm.
you.
We
He
ain't
did it with
doing that.
Mariota. He did it with Mariota. He did it for Ritter, and he did it for Heineke.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so what have you done for me lately kind of business? And if lately all you've done is throw fucking picks and run around like a headless chicken, then you're not going to stay on the
Yeah.
field.
Mm-mm.
Yeah,
Mm-mm.
and like you said, and that's where a lot of the Raheem criticism comes from is because of those said decisions. Look, you got to look at it from this standpoint. The main thing that can be said is, well, you paid Kirk Cousins $100 million, but if you're expecting to go to the playoffs, if that $100 million guy go through a 5-6 game stretch where he looks like the
Woo.
worst quarterback in the league,
Mm.
it's got to be some type of mental or some type of something has to be done.
Yeah.
Because remember, at that point in time, before he went on that run, that trash ass run, the Falcons were 2 games away from winning the division at that point in time.
Yep. Two
It
games
was
away.
Yep.
two
Hmm.
games from winning the division. They were six and
What
three.
do,
They could have won the division by week 11.
Yep. And when we picked up Kirk as well, it's not like he was rated as the 32nd best starting quarterback. He was right in that sort of, you know how it goes. You've got your top 10. They're pretty clear. There's a bit of argument here or there, but
Mm-hmm.
he was in that solid sort of 15 to 18 range. He was a
Mm-hmm.
very serviceable
Right.
quarterback that we could have made some steps playoff wise with. So we
Mm-hmm.
knew when that stretch of picks went, I just knew like there's something up with his shoulder or his hip. His throwing motion was just not there, man. There was no zip in his passes. So
He
yeah, you could tell
he
something was up.
he was hurt. He was
Hmm.
hurt during that stretch. I know.
Yeah, his
I
motion
know.
was
I know. So
all
I look. I am one of those guys who have a bad shoulder, bad knees, and all that shit.
hmm
I know when a motherfucker's shoulder's fucked up. My shoulder ain't my shoulder ain't been the same since 2004.
Oh boy. Yeah.
And like you said, that's where unpopular opinion. This is like you said. This is where Raheem Morris got a lot of the criticism last season was because you have sometimes, like you said, sometimes as a head coach, as an overseer, you have to make that tough decision.
And
If
that's why
Kurt
the
look,
Saints. If you look at the Saints
look,
too, that's why they declined. Look at Drew Brees' arm, and he'll tell you as much. Like, he always had the weapons around him, and yeah, he got that ring in New Orleans, but at the same time, when that arm goes, look at him throwing the ball in his last couple of seasons. You could tell he was in pain just getting out there. So I don't know what he was smoking, or what they were putting in those steroidal injections. But no, once the arm goes, you can feel it, and it ain't coming back. Not at the same level anyway.
mm-hmm. And Keyshawn, here's is the sentiment that I said. Kurt was grimacing after every throw, and Koo's kicks were going to the left every time.
Mm-hmm. That was all. Like he was
It,
dragging them. Yep.
yeah, it's about understanding that your guys ain't got it at that moment. That's just like saying. That's just like saying. I'm just used for example. Like I said, been going through some things my damn self. Well, might tell me, now you might just need to sit this one out until your mindset get better, or until you get better.
Mm-hmm.
Even though, like I said, even though I want to be there for the team and stuff like no, sit your ass down. And I've done the same thing with Mike. Sit your ass down.
Yeah, the amount of times I've had a 4, 5, 6 a.m. lecture from Mike just going like that, right, you've done enough tonight, get your ass to bed.
Yeah. Sit your ass down and let us handle it.
Yep.
But like you said, that's the aspect of Raheem Morris that a lot of the criticism comes from. See, this is what we've been saying the whole time. But the problem is we have a lot of people who are so infatuated with the fact that he symbolizes what they want in Atlanta
Oh yeah.
that they tend to forget the aspects of that. Or let's say if you would blame Jimmy Lake on the defense being a bottom 10 defense in this league. There was a standpoint in time where this defense was one of the best defense in the league last year, which was in that very same 5 game, that same 5 game stretch.
Mm-hmm. And this is it as well. Like I think I might have asked you this in some sort of way before, but as a relative outsider, as someone who's not born and raised in Georgia, there is a difference between building a team and building a culture. And I feel like for too long we've been trying to bring in players who are culture fits, who are gonna swag surf, who are gonna be like, yeah, boy, we got that dog, we're gonna be swinging gold chains, and
I hate
it's
that
like
shit.
that's
Oh
all
my
that's
God,
all well and
man.
good. Like, I want you to embrace the city of Atlanta, but I want you to play some good fucking football. First and foremost, you know what I'm saying? It shouldn't be too much to ask.
Right. See, the thing is with that mindset, that's not a bad mindset to have, but you have to build you have to build the code, you have to build the winning first before you do that. See, the problem is we haven't built the winning yet.
Yeah.
We're still trying to figure out what is the winning formula.
Yeah.
We've been not there yet, but not far off for far too long. We're still trying to figure out, like the Falcons right now are still trying to figure out what is the culture of this team.
And that's what I
And
said to you. I will trade another 3 years of Super Bowls to run the South, to get 3 straight North titles, South titles, and remind New Orleans, Tampa Bay, and Carolina that the South runs through the ATL, and then I will take a Lombardi.
right. So,
Call
like
it
I said,
nihilistic, but you know what I mean? You know what I'm saying?
right. Oh yeah, I feel you. I feel you on that. So, where Mike coming from with this conversation is if they build that culture and we're consistent playoff contenders, are we satisfied with that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
And the
you're certified
reality,
to get there.
and the reality of it is this: the mindset of the typical Falcons fan or football fan in the state of Georgia, that's only going to last for so much long before you start asking yourself, okay, when are we going to get to the next level?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah.
And that's the
And
conversation.
go ahead, Mike.
No, I was just saying that's the conversation because you like when we start winning 10 games consecutively and we get bounced out after the like Baltimore. I mean, I love bringing it up. I'm not gonna say I hate bringing it up because I love picking on Lamar every chance I get. Um, but he get put out the division championship like for like 5 years in a row. So it's like at some point in time, like is that going to be good enough? You just happy you're getting to the divisional round of the playoffs? Hell no! I want to get to the Super Bowl. I would much rather lose 3 Super Bowls than get my ass kicked out at the divisional round every single time. Okay, that's just me.
Yeah.
Hence is the reason why Jim Kelly is still revered in Buffalo, even though they lost four straight Super Bowls.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, to even make it to the dance is hallowed ground, so to speak. So to do it four
Mm-hmm.
times in a row is insane. And that brings me right back to the whole Dan Marino thing as well. Dan Marino doesn't have a ring, but he is forever revered as a hero in Miami. So why won't that situation translate for Matt Ryan in Atlanta? Make it make sense for me if you if you
See
if you
the
can.
see the problem is with the Matt Ryan situation. It goes back down to that symbolism topic that we have is because you have a lot of hurt people that are still upset down here that Matt Ryan was kind of the reason why Michael Vick never returned to Atlanta. See the thing is, see the
Okay.
thing is you have you have Falcon fans who are actual fans of the Falcons, and then
Uh,
you have quote unquote Falcon fans who were fans of certain players that played for the
Ah,
Falcons.
yeah. Okay. You're
So
mad in
that's
04
kind of
fans.
yeah.
Uh-huh.
So it's a difference, and you
Yeah.
can always tell with a difference because when you're talking to a person that's a fan of the Falcons, they're upset about losses and certain things that happened throughout the history of the Falcons, which, like
Hmm.
you said, anniversary of the 60 years of a lot of turmoil that we done went through. These are the
Hmm.
people that have been through this. But the difference is you have certain people who are not real, who are Falcon fans, who are more so Falcon fans of what certain players symbolized in their life, i.e., Mike Vick, i.e., Julio Jones,
Hmm.
i.e., Ray Buchanan, Jamal Anderson.
Yeah. But we all got those heroes that we put on pedestals. I mean, we all like my dream growing up, even though I ended up as an Atlanta fan, was to own a Jerry Rice jersey because he is the greatest
oh.
to ever do it at my position. No
Mm-hmm.
question about it. But at the same time, the name on the front of the jersey should be 100 times more important than the name on the back. Just going to say
Right.
that there is no, and that's what I'm saying about the unholy alliance and the whole aspect of loyalty as well. There is no I above we. The name on the back of the
Mm-hmm.
jersey
Right.
doesn't count. It's what you can do for
Right.
the name that's on the front, for the logo
Right.
that's on your lid.
Right. Atlanta, like you said, unholy alliance, Atlanta Falcon Nation. Got that. Like you said, Man Mike Network. Like you said, you represent the brand in itself.
Mm,
And where we come down to is a lot of the people down here in Atlanta is going to feel that hurt unless you let go of that symbolic mindset of I would never forgive this team or I can't or I'm always be upset for this team
mm,
because of this or because of that.
yeah.
And we've had the conversation about Kyle Pitts on Sam show earlier, and Jaden brought up a good point with that. is this is kind of one of the major reasons why Kyle Pitts is getting a lot of the flack down here. It's not necessarily because he was a fourth overall pick. It was the fact that a lot of people they were looking for that Julio Jones replacement.
Mm-hmm.
People were looking for Justin Fields. People were looking for Michael Parsons. People were looking for Jamar Chase. And the fact that those guys have, or Penny Sewell, or those guys have performed on the team they got drafted by, and they look at Kyle Pitts and say, why is he not an all-pro guy year in and year out?
Because you need to understand how the X's and O's break down. He is a receiver. He functions in so much as stats count. He functions as a receiver. So number one, what a receiver needs is consistency from the man delivering the ball, and he hasn't had that.
Yes.
You noticed he had 1,000-yard season
How do you
under Matt
know
Ryan.
that, William?
Mm-hmm.
How do you know that? Tell the people how you know that.
Old age and cynicism, brother.
So, did you play the position or not?
I did. I was a wide receiver.
You telling me, because I played the quarterback position. So if you're the wide receiver, what do you need and what are you expecting when you're on the field? What are you expecting for your quarterback?
Leadership. You are the offense runs through you. I can't catch anything you don't throw up. So yeah, there is trust in each other that has to be built. And you build that through the trenches. But I want a QB who's going to stand in there and basically be like, nah, I'm the shit and I know I'm the shit. I know you're the shit too, so I'm going to throw you the ball. And then that's up to me. But ultimately, I just want a man who, and this is what I'm hoping to see from Penix. And I like that they're kind of getting out and doing those social meets and mincing around in the sand. As much as you can laugh at it, it's great for team building, and that's what I want. I want a man who's going to be like, nah, this is my offense. The offense does run through me. Now watch my boys perform because we've got that culture built. So that's kind of what I want. Ideally as a player or as a fan of the team that you're watching, I feel like that holds true. I feel like the QB, that's why they're paid so much money. It's not just because, like, in terms of the game, they are the trigger man. It's that they are the leader of the organization. They are the route through which all points are scored outside of field goals. So, but to get a field goal, you need to drive down the field. Yeah, we say that is the quarterback position made too important? I don't feel like you can make the quarterback position too important. The quarterback position is what it is, you know. But it's up to the guys you put around him as to whether he looks good. But it's a team game at the end of the day. All I want is leadership, commitment, and somebody who's not afraid to stand in there and get smacked when they throw a ball. That's pretty much it.
And this is kind of one of the things where I always say is, even though the quarterback position is important, like for me personally, I will always say that the offensive line and the defensive line are two of the most important aspects of football. Then the quarterback, just for the simple fact that in order for your quarterback to be able to handle his responsibilities, you need them hogs up front to do their motherfucking job.
100%. I feel like you could just as easily label the skill positions as glamour positions because we can't get the pretty game shots if y'all aren't blocking.
Yeah.
I've heard this. I've said this so many times.
Yeah. So think about it like this. If your offensive line can't block, guess what? Your quarterback can't do his responsibility. He can't deliver his responsibility. And guess what happens if your quarterback can't deliver his responsibility? The wide receivers can't get the ball.
And that's a problem when the wide receivers are not getting the ball, as we've seen before.
And nobody wants to block. Nobody wants to become a wide blocker and just hit chest blocks for 3 hours. Nobody wants that.
And guess what? In order for your running backs to be able to deliver and do their thing, guess what? You need them hogs up front and damn make a way for them.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And not just the Hogs either. We need that commitment from everyone who's going to potentially spring a block. There is still footage out there of me springing a block for a running back on YouTube somewhere. I won't tell you where because I don't want that level of embarrassment. but it does exist. It does exist.
Hey, shoot. Hey, look.
for those blocks.
Look. I always say it like this, man. The wide receivers don't have to be impact blockers. They just gotta hold somebody for at least half a second.
Yeah, you don't have to hit them hard, but you just need to hit them.
Folks don't
Pretty much. Oh, and that was the problem, and like losing that weight, you don't hit
That's
as
one
much.
of the important. That's one of the most important aspects of your running game too. Is your wide receivers and your tight ends got to be able to block and be able to hold their blocks too.
And that's what I like about these big-bodied receivers that we've got as well. With Drake and Nick Nash is a big boy too. They can hold those blocks. They can get hands on you, and you don't look at the way Megatron, for instance, would dominate when he got hands on a safety. There are ways that you can exploit that. You can make mismatches when you've got that sort of size, and when you've got multiple guys with that kind of size, it can be a real nightmare for the secondary.
Yeah.
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
Believe me.
Yeah.
My brother is 6'6", 6'7", 250 pounds. So, believe me, when they decide to put their weight on you, you're gonna feel it.
Yeah, 100%.
And I know me. That's why I idolize the fullback position so much. Because, like I said, 5'10", 275. Like I said, well, at that point in time, fullback wise, I was about 250. But like you said, hey, sometimes you just gotta have those guys that's willing to make that physical sacrifice for the betterment of the team.
Yeah. And it's a lost art as fullback. I mean, outside of Kyle Juszczyk, can you really name me Patrick Ricard in Baltimore? But outside of those two, can you name me a true fullback anymore? Because I'm struggling.
Hey, well, today's game, there is, like I said, I don't count Kyle Juszczyk as a fullback because that motherfucker is literally a running back. He really just a damn running back. That's just that's just big enough to play fullback, but they use him as a running back. But Patrick Ricard, he's really like the only fullback that I can think of.
Yeah, and I remember back in the day, like, and you used to deliberately go if you're an old Madden player, like you would deliberately go and just experiment with your fullback just to see how many like interesting ways you could smash somebody on the line of scrimmage. But gone are those days, man.
like you said, when you got the guys like Tony Richardson, when you got Lorenzo Neal, when you got Bob Christian, Justin Griffith. I ain't gonna say Mike Allstott because everybody already know about Mike Allstott.
Yeah.
But
even going back to the days of Larry Zonka, and
O.V. Mahaley, William Henderson. When you got these guys, Reuben Drones, even though they did move him to running back for a year because somebody couldn't stay healthy. I ain't gonna say no names, but whatever.
No, you realize when you've been watching the league this long how much the game has evolved. And I want to try and get I've kind of speaking with a couple of my friends who know Jonathan Babineau, because I really want to speak to him about especially how he feels the defensive line position has evolved, because I feel like there's been a lot of evolution in the way that quarterback is played, the way that tight ends played. I feel like the single position group have had to choose one that's overgone the biggest evolution over the last, say, 10 or 15 seasons would be the way that edge and defensive line is constructed. It's not even, they don't even play in the same way that they used to.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, because everybody is either a damn 3-tech. Either your defensive linemen are either 3-techs, they play the 9, or they playing 5-eye. I'm like, really? Like I said, basically where defenses are played now, all defenses are built to stop the pass.
Yeah, to utilize their speed and athleticism. You're not using this, catering to their strength as much. Like being a strong edge guy is massive. Is huge for guys. A lot of people just like to look at guys like Von Miller and Dwight Freeney. So those guys were just fast, but like those guys were strong, sitting on the edge.
Chandler Jones, he wasn't just long, but that push that he
Mhm,
had off the edge was insane. Calais Campbell as well, he had
mhm.
that. Just big.
Right.
There is something different when a man who is, as I say, we were laughing about this one time, Mike, about your uncle and mine. My uncle was 6'7" when he was playing. He's now about 6'5" after the knee went out. 310 pounds.
Yeah,
So when you grow up wrestling a nose tackle, you're not really scared of safeties much.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah,
So when a man
yeah.
that size gets his hands on you, it's different.
Mhm.
Oh yeah,
Oh
it's game over. It's game over.
yeah. Hmm.
It's game over. Like
We
I
just
said,
got to be lucky we're faster. You will not get hands on me because I will run the other direction. Extremely.
I'm just saying, you're not gonna put your hand. Look, we can box, but you're not picking. Look, you're not grabbing me.
100%.
I didn't have that. I didn't have that opportunity. Like I said, I had to fight. Like I said, 5'11", 270, that like 270. Yeah, I had to fight. So yeah, I had to love it, and I loved every minute of
That was a
Everybody.
wise decision for me. I played at youth. I played sort of dog linebacker, a mix of dog
Mhm.
linebacker and defensive end. Went to my first
it.
senior session with the Tigers, and they went, "What position do you play?" And I went, "I don't think it's very pertinent now because your tackles are huge. Where do you think I would fit in?" And they went, "You can play some linebacker if you want." But I decided, nah,
Mm,
receiver's more my fit. Like I used to
yeah,
like to hit people, but once your back and your wrists start reminding you that this is not what you're about to do, you start to question that decision.
Yeah,
mhm,
yeah, yeah.
yeah, yeah. Like I said, I could play any position on the damn field, but the fact that I was just big, damn near bigger than everybody, I had to be in the front seven. I ain't have a fucking choice. I wanted to be a
100%.
safety. I wanted to be a safety, but they told me I had to get down to 190. I was like, Nick, no.
Nah,
No,
I
for
was,
me,
I
for
was
me,
Cause
it
I
was the other
already,
way.
cause I had been lifting weight. I had been weightlifting and shit since I was like 10 years old. So it's like, shit, I ain't never gonna be that damn small.
Yeah, if I'd have walked into a senior linebacker room, I feel like I'd have been asked, "Where's the rest of you?" To be honest, so I was like, "Nah, I need to look at something else here, either DB or receiver." And receiver just kind of called to me, so that was what that was.
Right. Cause I was like I said, I was at like 205 by the time I graduated middle school.
oh man, see, to me, nah.
I was like
I've
205,
always
210
they,
by the
they
time
put
I
me at
graduated middle
quarterback.
school.
Now, I only had three positions. I only had three positions. You said you was gonna be a quarterback, wide receiver, cornerback. I didn't have a choice.
You were getting road to glory options.
Roll the glory, you
Nope.
ain't shit.
Nope.
No love
Look,
for the big boys up
So
front. It's like, nah,
no,
five positions.
no, nope, nope, you're not gonna make it.
is that exactly too big to play running back? Too big to play running back. Like, nah, bro, we like you either fullback or you gonna get your ass on the offensive line. Like, I'm cool with that. I don't give a fuck.
That's the beauty of football. Every shape,
I
every
don't,
size. We'll find
I
somewhere to
don't give
fit
a
you in.
fuck.
Hit the guy in front of you, man.
I don't give a fuck. I was like,
That's
shit,
it.
it's cool with me. Just give me a helmet, and I'll go out there and do what I need to do. Let's say Keyshawn here said the Nuggets have traded Michael Porter Jr. and an unprotected 2032 first round pick to the Nets for Cam Johnson.
Yeah, congratulations on that one.
Mm.
Okay. Yeah,
D'Angelo Russell headed to the Mavs.
a move that ain't gonna move the needle for him. Okay, cool.
Yeah, make that doesn't make sense.
But we got about 15 more minutes, man. Mike, you want to go ahead and talk about this part of the show? the LeBron James part of the show?
LeBron James. I'll keep it real short because people gonna have a heart attack. We talk about LeBron too long. I look. LeBron James says one thing clear to me that I think. Um, to me, I think he's on his way out more so than anything. Is that his wife Savannah said she looking at dudes like, hey, look, I've been following you around the world for 20 years. I'm gonna need you to call it quits at some point in time. When he start ordering those things, that means Savannah has been on him for the last 2 to 3 years. This just didn't come over the night overnight. So I know the Lakers traded for Luca and whatnot, and I honestly believe that they are going to build a team around him. And LeBron James, from what I understand, he is. Um, I don't know how true. I don't know how true because I haven't seen anything. So if you guys can send me something that because I keep hearing that LeBron asked to be traded. I haven't seen anything on it. So that's more so rumors until I see something. I don't go with a bunch of nonsense, but from what I'm seeing, LeBron James is at he's staying with LA, and I think the only reason why he's staying with LA is because he wants to make sure that he get that $50 million. So if he end up being traded to a team that he doesn't want, at least he's gonna get paid for it.
Yeah, that's what I'm seeing as well. If anything changes, I can send it over. But rumor mill's going to rumor mill, but I don't see anything official. And bro wants his money at the
Yeah,
end of the day.
yeah. I don't think it's anything other than that. Like I don't think he's serious at this point because not too long ago, a few weeks ago, he was saying that championships. You know, he was saying seeking championships was overrated. I'm like, yeah, this dude sounds like he's on his way out. I don't think LeBron is serious about anything except for getting one last big paycheck.
Yeah, I think so.
I think his foot is already out the door. Just to be honest.
So let
Look,
me ask y'all a question. Let me ask y'all a question on that. So do you think that the new change in ownership is what prompted this decision for him to? Do you think that this played a part in it? Because, like you said, by
Yes.
him kind of exercising that player option of his, it forced the organization to make a decision on whether you want to, like I say, you're going to be forced to get rid of me or some type of thing. Be-
Yeah.
because because the thing is, a lot of people were kind of talking about was with the new ownership,
He could have
it was a
left, kid.
possible.
He could
Yeah,
have left. He could have left. That was a player option. That's not a team option. You
yeah, he
hear?
opted
Like
back
that's
in.
not a team option. He could have just said, "All right, I want to go to another team and win championship." That's not a championship move because if it was a championship move, he could be in free agency right now. And that's why I say this like LeBron in my humble opinion has already retired because you don't make that type of move right there with a clear option and say, all right, I'm gonna go on free agency and go to another team because he could have chosen a team and the team would have given him at least 1 year deal. But the fact that he um he accepted the player option, like that tells me LeBron just wants to retire in LA and call it quits.
Yeah, 100%.
sounds
I feel
sounds
like
like
if it was,
Julio Jones to me.
nah, I was gonna say,
Damn.
if it was anything with culture, I feel like there would have been more fanfare. It wouldn't be as. But then again, I feel like Mike's right. I feel like he has checked out. Even in his game, you can see like he's lost the fire. He's not the LeBron that
Mhm.
he even was 5 years ago, and he can talk about wanting another championship. I think he's just like if another one should manifest in LA, then fantastic. He's in for the ride, but I don't think he even really cares at this point
Mm-mm.
necessarily.
Mhm.
So my thing is for the team itself and for the organization itself. Do you have the necessary pieces that can be warranted for him to say,
No, I don't
okay,
think so.
that I want to win it all in 2025 or 2026 with this player option?
I don't see it because from what I
Mm.
understand, what's the shooter? Good God Almighty!
Was it? Was
He
talking about
declined
Connect?
his no.
Oh no, you talking about Austin Reeves?
Austin Reeves, from what I understand, he declined his player option. If I'm not mistaken,
Mm.
I thought I saw something. Let me confirm that, but I thought I saw something on that. It was like
Cause I
if
cause I think they said by this player option coming on, I think they said they only got about $2 million to work with or something like that.
Lakers are not reportedly not gauging Austin Reed trade value ahead of him. So from Austin, yeah, from what I understand, they didn't want to send the wrong signal by not offering a contract extension to Austin Reed. So LA is definitely going through some changes.
Mm.
So he turned it down. Okay, his camp turned down an offer by the Lakers, Austin Reeves. So
Mm.
yeah, it's going to be some changes in LA, and I think they all know it.
Yeah. Just brace
Yeah.
yourself if you're a Lakers fan, because I feel like like I don't think anybody's taking LeBron on for any realistic length of time. So, and
Mhm.
again, he would have made that decision already. But the fact that people are outright declining these options to come back, then it's making me really think that maybe it is the culture. Maybe LeBron's checked out for that reason. Maybe like, well, I can't be bothered going and building up some sort of rep on a new team. Maybe I just ride it out, get my money, and maybe that's why there's a culture change. Maybe it is to do with the coaching. I mean, I'm not saying it is, but it just makes me think maybe there's something going on behind the scenes.
Will no one in the NBA is running to play with LeBron anymore. Like no one is running towards that anymore.
Yeah, as Vlad says down in the chat, possibly the Warriors would entertain him, but the list
They
is very
don't have the
short.
money.
Mm.
They had
They
to
ain't
get
got
rid
one.
of. They had to get rid of Thompson in order to kind of make budget a certain way, so they don't have the money to bring in LeBron. Unless LeBron want to come in for a $20 million contract, and I highly doubt that. I don't see that happening.
Yeah, that's no retirement money. He's not doing that.
And plus, and plus, Steph
Yeah.
said he ain't trying. Plus, Steph said he ain't trying to play with LeBron right now. No way.
Mm-mm, mm-mm. No, we can play at the Olympics, but that's as far as we go.
But what it end up what's up? Well, like I said, what the question ends up being is do the Lakers really have enough room to really even build something to thinking that they're gonna win a championship? Because
Yeah.
yes, you have LeBron and you have Luca. The problem is in that playoff series that they had, the biggest knock on Luka Doncic showed up in that playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Luka ain't nothing but a 6'7" fire hydrant.
Yeah,
Basically.
I'm so disappointed in how his game has started. He just looked like he just want to eat sandwiches and drink
Mm.
Budweisers after the game right now. There's no fire in him anymore. I don't see that fire.
Quite a
I
sad decline as well, because I mean, back in the days of NBA Live 2K19 and even up to about 2K21, he was one of the boys. And now it just seems like it's like, where is the will gone? We know you're better than that, bro. You know you're better than that too.
Mhm. Yeah.
I'll be honest with you. I think he's capped out. I don't think he can get any better.
Could be right.
Really? Mm.
I don't think Luca can get it, but I think the best of Luca that you saw
Mm.
was in Dallas. I don't think you're
I
gonna
don't
see
see the
nothing no
fire.
better than that.
Yeah, I don't see the fire kid. He just looked like a guy that's running through the motion because he got his 200 million, and to be honest, like in his country, like they don't value money like Americans, and the way of life there isn't a lot like America. So it's like, does he really need the money like that? And that's no longer driving him.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like I said, Luka Doncic right now, the the best Luka, the peak Luka that you saw was last year. That was peak. Like I said, you're not gonna see. Well, actually, I'll be honest with you. I'll say even 2 years ago, that was peak Luka. You're not
Yeah,
gonna see anything better than that right now.
yeah, I can see that. I can see that.
yeah, I can see him kind of striving to get that level again, but I feel like the fire has dimmed a little bit, and I feel like if he's going to strive to regain the ghosts, the form of old, then he needs to be invested in that. And I feel like, as you say, he's still
Yeah,
got a finger in the pot, but for the most part, he's like, yeah, I'm good.
Lakers' biggest problem is they have no defensive players whatsoever.
No defensive play.
They literally got
No.
rid of all their defensive players to get Luther, and
Yeah, the playoff
and
showed
that
us
and
that.
that and that was the downfall, and that's one of the main reasons why I'm not really a big fan of these mega superstar trades and stuff in the
Uh-huh.
NBA. Because guess what? In order for you to make these superstar trades, guess what? You got to give away a lot of defenders, a guys
Uh-huh.
that specialize in defense. You got a lot of guys that specialize in being locker room leaders. And then what ends up happening is, and like you said, as Hawks fans, we seen that. I mean, Dejounte Murray, I wouldn't really call him a superstar. He wasn't no superstar type guy. But you gave away, you had to part with a multitude of core guys, whether it be defensive guys or guys that were locker room guys, to make room for
Mhm. And you'll see the superstars start to fall as you get towards the finals. It's all good to have
him.
your superstar, but if you are keen to go and say score 115 points every game, that's cool.
Hmm
But what
I'm
happens if
still,
your defense, if you have no
I'm
defense
laughing
to
at
even
you.
score a lot
I'm
more?
like, you scared? What the hell you laughing at? What you trying to say? What you laughing at the fact that I said that Luca ain't about to get no better than what he is now?
Look, I don't see it.
And for any basketball fan, he said everyone knows that the Lakers are not going anywhere unless LeBron is gone.
That's fair.
That's
That's fair.
fair. That's all. Yeah, Luca ain't nothing but a 6'7" version of Trey Young. I'm, that's all I'm gonna say. 6'7" Trey Young. That's all that motherfucker is. Um, but let's go ahead and get up on out of here, man. I'm gonna let the fellas get their final words here. Will, what you got for
Well, I just want to thank you all for having me up in the building again, boys. Looking to continue out, as I said in the chat many times, to continue contributing on both sides. So you'll see me on the Unholy Alliance. Shout out to the Atlanta Falcons Nation LLC as well. We've got the international show coming up soon, so keep your eyes peeled. Um, you may have seen down in the chat there may have been some drama, but there's no heat. All love. Just keep it Atlanta. Keep it here. Your love is so important to us, all of us, as creators. Just trying to kind of strive to kind of take what we've learned through our years of experience and our years of being fans and our passion for the game and kind of put that across. That's all any of us strive to do. So if you're looking to follow, just Will the Thrill Waddle on YouTube, as you see it here. That would be WAD-L, same on X. Hit me up if you want to continue the conversation. But until then, just as I say, thank you to the rest of the guys in the panel, to Six Man K, to the Senator himself, Mad Mike. Thanks for having me up here to kind of, rant and put in the kind of international take, as it were. But no, just smash that like button as always. Keep it here, people.
There you go. What you got, Mike?
Well, like I said, man, we truly appreciate everybody that continuously support the brand. We actually have, I will have Will's channel right now. I'm actually putting it on the community tab. So please head over to his channel, subscribe to him. It's like right now we have a few playlists we put together. The content will come in. The content is coming. Like I said, we got the show coming up real soon. So y'all stay tuned. But head over to Will the Thrill with it. It will be in the community tab on Mad Mike Sports. Please go over there, subscribe, get ready for this season because look, man, I'm ready. I'm so freaking ready for it to go, and I can't believe we still got almost a month to go. Yeah, I'm ready.
I'm hyped, man. I'm hyped. Also, sorry to jump in before you finish up, Kay, but one more thing. I'm going to be doing potentially some sort of live stream on the 31st. That kind of falls towards sort of middle towards the end of training camp for my 34th birthday. So it's going to be sports talk, general chat, just having a good time. So you boys are more than welcome. Chat, if you want to join in, I'll have the details pretty soon for y'all. So as I say, keep it here.
All right, we definitely gonna be a part of that, man. We definitely gonna be a part of that. Like you said, man, you just hit us up beforehand. We'll definitely be a part of that.
Oh, one more thing, please. All right, y'all. YouTube. I want to reiterate this. A lot of people complain about not getting all the notifications. Please check your notifications to see if it's set on default. Because if it's set on default, that's the reason why you're not getting all the notifications. So be sure to check the notifications on the channel. All right,
the bell has a drop down. Make sure you click the bell and it drops down. Hit all, and you'll get it. Whenever we go live, you get a notification of a live. You'll also get notifications when the new, like when we publish to say, here's the show for tomorrow. You'll be able to get access in there if you want to drop your early comments, your early topic ideas, anything like that. But you do need to check that little drop down, so make sure you're doing that, folks.
So that's the reason why a lot of people have been complaining about not getting our notifications on time because it's not set to all. So be sure to check that.
Exactly. Yeah, like I said, definitely make sure you subscribe to everybody. Subscribe to the Unholy Alliance as well as the Heavy Hitters Live. Like you said, football season is coming close soon, so you're gonna be seeing a lot more of the heavy hitters. And like you said, shout out to Will for joining us. Like you said, that's one of the brethren here. That's brother William Wallace with us. Old Willie.
Always Selby.
But
Always have a
but like I said, man, like I said, we appreciate y'all supporting everybody over here on the channel, supporting everybody affiliated. Like I said, man, y'all make sure y'all leave your comments. Make sure you leave your questions in the comments. Make sure, like I said, you hit everybody on their socials. You got to ask questions. Hey, we get to it when they get to it. You probably get better response from Mike. Cause 9 times out of 10, I probably ain't gonna see your shit till probably about a week later. But
he's not lying, y'all. He's not lying. I gotta call him 15 times during the course of a day, y'all.
Yeah. So
we will get back eventually.
I'm still trying to. I gotta get back used to this social media thing, y'all. I'm used to ignoring it most of the time. I'm used to working, so I don't get a chance to really
defense. You have to forgive us. We're getting old. We're getting old, boys.
Well, exactly. You get so used to working, you get so used to being in work mode. You like, oh wait a minute, let me check. Oh shit, yeah, shit. I got motherfuckers that I'm cool with that I ain't hit up in about 3-4 months and shit like that. If I every time I hit their ass, they like, oh,
What the hell
I
going
thought you
on?
didn't
What's
mess
wrong
with
with
me
you?
no more. They're
Yeah,
like,
turns out
no,
you weren't
no,
as cool as you thought you were. All of a sudden, well, this is
exactly,
news to me.
exactly. Oh, I didn't know you was alive. That's the main one I get all the time. I thought you was dead. No, no.
Oh,
But like I said, man, you make sure you support everybody, man. AFN International, man. Like I said, but we got, like I said, we got more of the solo shows coming up here soon. Like I said, man, K stop. K, like I said, System K versus Kev. Like you said, that is the solo show for me. So y'all be
And the
on the
solo
lookout for
show
that.
for me is the Mad Mike show. So when y'all see that, y'all know it's just gonna be me and not Kill. So
Exactly. Exactly. So y'all don't have to hear brainwashed opinions from Man Mike Sports every
and if y'all down in the chat are just insane enough to want some contributions from a fucking big, hairy, and borderline manic schizophrenic Scotsman, then I can do it. I can do some solo content
I
too.
like
Just
the
drop
way
some
that
red and black in the
sounds.
chat.
I like that shit. I like the way that sounds. My sick sadistic shit. I love the way you just said because
but we'll just set that shit up so beautifully, bro. I ain't
yes
gonna tell you no
it
lie.
is. Oh man.
Keyshawn said Clint Capella's going back to Houston.
Yeah, I just saw that. I just saw that come across.
Okay, so yeah, he can average 4, 5, and 3 in Houston. That's fine. We could.
Oh my
Um.
god.
So until next time, people, man, we ain't here to play.
Absolutely not.
We here to stay.
Yes.
Oh yeah, nigga.
You ain't gotta go home.
But you sure as hell can't stay
We
here.
go.
Out.
You did. You
Yeah.
yeah. Y'all asses better be y'all asses better be going eat some food or something. Goddamn, because I'm
You
hungry.
hear that sound?
Oh,
You can take my life, but you can't take my freedom.
I
we
cannot be guilty of treason, for he was never my king.
Oh, I like that. I forgot about that line. Damn.
exactly. Exactly. All right, man. We out, man. I'm gonna have to watch Braveheart because of y'all.
Yep.
Peace, family.
I
All
love that
right,
movie.
man. We out, man.
Put your eyes back in your head.
Popped out like flavor.